What do we mean when we say visual representation? Well, we want to represent it visually. That's kind of like taking it and turning it into a picture, and it can make it easier to understand. Right now I'm using these cartoons to represent our lesson visually, but you guys won't be using cartoons. They take way too long to make just to show off a simple coffee solution. You guys are going to be using flowcharts. These follow specific rules so that everyone can understand them the same way. So let's go through some basics. If you've ever been in a race of any kind, you'd know it needs a starting and a finishing point. This means that for a race to make sense, it has to have a clear start and a clear finish. This is just as important in flowcharts. And to show our start and finish, we simply put those words into an oval. This shape is called the terminator. Now we start adding our list into the flowchart. To make this visual, we put our steps into shapes, just like the start and the finish. This is where it's important to know what different shapes mean. The first thing we did was ask our mom how she liked her coffee. Whenever you're solving a problem and have to ask a question, you're going to get an answer. We call this answer input. This is because your mom is inputting information into your solution so that you can use it to solve the problem. We use a parallelogram in order to represent this. Once we've got all our information, we needed to fetch the stuff necessary to make the coffee. Because this stuff is being input into your solution too, we will also represent it with a parallelogram. The actual steps in making the coffee are the processes of our solution. It's where we take everything we need, that's all the information and items we just input into our solution, and do something with it. Often we do something without any of our resources, and that's okay. It'll look exactly the same. We represent these processes with a rectangle. You may notice that some processes, or rectangles, will only happen if something is true, such as if your mom wanted milk with her coffee. If you only do a process if something is true, then you need to check if it's true before we do it. When we ask ourselves a true or false question in our answer, we use a diamond to show it. Okay, so the processes are finished. All that's left is to give your mom the coffee. Whenever we work through a solution with a flowchart like this, just as we need input, we need output. In this scenario, we're obviously going to be outputting coffee. What's important to note is that anytime you tell someone something like, your coffee is ready, then that's also output. This is usually the final steps of any solution. Our last rule is to simply say that we finished our solution. We draw an oval around it, just like our start.